The roses are looking fantastic right now, and today we're going to go through the gardens and do a comparison video on several of the Proven Winners ColorChoice Roses. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and let's go ahead and take a look at the roses in the garden. There's nothing better than a classic red rose. This here is the Urban Legend rose. An Urban Legend is hardy in zones 5 to 9 and gets about 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide, just creating a nice mounding habit. Roses do like to be grown in full sun, and they bloom off of the new season's growth. So if you have to trim them in the fall or trim them in the early spring to get them shaped up, you can absolutely do that. The Urban Legend rose has lots of, I'm going to say, smaller semi-double rose flower forms. The color of it can vary. So the newer blooms are more of a deeper fire engine red, whereas the blooms start to fade a little bit, they do take on a little bit of a magenta hue. Although red is the primary color of this plant, if you are looking to plant a gorgeous red rose. Another thing to point out with the Proven Winners ColorChoice Roses is they have all been bred for excellent disease resistance. I know a lot of times when you're growing roses, that can be one of the major problems. So with these roses, they all have excellent disease resistance. This here is the SUNORITA Rose, and this rose is just, the flower forms are so unique. They have a lot of color variation, from a really rich pumpkin orange to shades of pink and peach and colors in between. This rose reminds me of a nice summer sunny day. The SUNORITA Rose gets 3 to 4 foot tall, so just a little bit taller than the Urban Legend rose, and also likes to be grown in full sun. With roses, they are reblooming, so throughout the summer, you're going to continue to get these gorgeous flower colors. It just rained out last night, so that's why a lot of these roses are kind of wet looking, and some of the petals have kind of fallen, is because we did have a really good rain last night. But you can see, even in a nice rain, these do hold up very well. The Oh So Easy Lemon Zest is just a nice, crisp, clean yellow rose. Again, a little bit smaller flower form than the SUNORITA we just saw, but a ton of flowers on this plant. Lemon Zest is said to get up to 2 foot tall, but these plants that are in this landscape we're looking at right now, this is only the second season that they have been here in the ground. And Lemon Zest in our trials in our gardens is about 3 foot tall by 3 foot wide. And I'm just, again, loving all of these blooms. The yellow here stays pretty fresh from the bud opening to the bloom being on the spent side. So you'll get a very consistent show of vibrant, bright, sunshine yellow blooms. A newer series in the rose family is the Reminiscent series. This here is the Reminiscent Crema Rose. It's got gorgeous fragrance to it. And as you can see, these flowers are bigger and fuller than the landscape roses we were just looking at. Reminiscent Crema has been a Garden Crossings favorite. Every time we put this out in the garden center, they just fly off the shelves. And I think it's because of the really large flowers and the fragrance that they have. The Reminiscent Crema, I would say, is more like a traditional cut type rose flower form. This one gets about 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide. So the plant here we're looking at is a pretty mature size in just a year growing here in the garden. Bees and butterflies also enjoy checking out the roses. And if you're just looking for that nice white rose to add to your garden, that's just going to bring a ton of fragrance, the Reminiscent Crema is a great selection. This here is the At Last Rose. This rose has been in the Proven Winners ColorChoice collection for quite a while now. And I always say, especially when we first started planting these, that I'm not a peach person. But this rose has quickly grown on me, or peachish orange, and it's quickly grown on me. And I think this might be the plant that's actually kind of transitioned my like of flower color to beginning to like a lot more oranges in the garden. The At Last Rose has really large flowers. Makes a great cut flower and fragrant. Oh, so very, very fragrant. I love the Atlas rose because, again, it's one of those roses that just blooms all summer long. It gets up to 36 inches tall and 36 inches wide. So this here is a good example of the size that the Atlas rose gets. So if you're looking to add just those gorgeous rose colors, again, I want to repeat, these have all been bred for excellent disease resistance. So you should have pretty good luck growing clean roses. Roses do cycle, so I'll mention that. So right now you can see they're all in their prime of their first bloom cycle. These flowers and petals are going to drop, and you do or don't need to deadhead them. It's kind of a personal preference. Sometimes we'll deadhead them to keep the plant just looking cleaner. Other times we'll just let them go and continue to put on more blooms. So it just depends on what is the look that you like for your roses in your landscape. I wanted to stop here and just show you a couple fantastic roses that unfortunately have now been discontinued, but we always get so many comments on them when people are walking through the gardens. So this here is the Candy O rose, and it is just a ball of gorgeous beauty. It's about, 5 foot tall or so and about 5 or so foot wide. And when people are walking, they're thinking it's a Weigela just because it just has so much vibrant color going on. This Candy O has a little bit more smaller flower form going on. So even though the flowers aren't big, there is just a lot of them, and it is just loaded with these gorgeous flower clusters. But right now, as always, every year, it is just really putting on a massive display of flowers. These two specimens are also discontinued, unfortunately. But again, I just wanted to show you them because they are so beautiful. These are the Smoothie roses, and the name Smoothie is partially implying because they are a virtually thornless rose. They again have those very small flowers on them, creating big clusters of color. It's really a beautiful magenta white blend. It's a little past its prime right now, but I think this is just kind of one of those unique roses because, yeah, literally it has virtually no thorns on it. And I think with roses, that's one of the drawbacks is why do roses have to have thorns? Obviously, it's a protective thing built into them. But yeah, this is just too pretty not to show you on today's rose tour. The Reminiscent series of roses was developed by breeders in Siberia. And in their breeding, they were dedicating it to the best fragrance, lovely color, and high petal count, along with vigorous blooming. This Reminiscent pink is such a soft, beautiful pink. It's just it gives like a delicate feel to the garden. I love the roses because as you walk past in the garden, you can just smell the gorgeous fragrance. And when you look at these blooms, you can see just how large and how full they are. This produces a lot of flowers on the plant. And this is one that's going to continue to rebloom throughout the summer. As mentioned with the other roses, you may want to deadhead some of those spent blooms off. Otherwise, you'll start getting rose hips, which also have kind of a unique look on the rose. It's not good or bad either way. But yeah, definitely one of those roses that just continues to bring beauty to the garden throughout the entire summer. The Rise Up series of roses is a climbing rose program by Proven Winners ColorChoice. This particular rose is the Rise Up Lilac Days. And I was just saying to Marissa, who's videoing for me right now, we should have been out here last week because this plant was in its absolute prime. The flowers are starting to lose their petals a little bit right now, but this was one of the most gorgeous roses in the garden. It was just loaded with beautiful purpley, kind of a soft pink hue flower. And this plant is about 5 foot tall or so right now in our gardens. It's been in here for, I think this is the 3rd year right now, and it can get up to 8 foot tall at maturity. It's not as wide as it is tall. It's only about 4 foot wide. So if you're looking for something to go up a wall or climb a trellis or arbor, this is a great climbing rose. One thing we learned with these climbing roses is we planted 3 of them together only about 4 foot apart on their obelisks. That was clearly too close together because the Lilac Days is kind of taking over this grouping. But never fear, Rise Up Amberness is starting to poke through and starting to flower as well. This is a beautiful amber orangish color flower. Amberness also is part of that climbing series, but it maxes out at only 5 foot tall. It gets 2 to 3 foot wide at maturity. And that's part of the reason too, I think, why Lilac Days is just kind of taking over this grouping, is because it is more of an aggressive rose than what the Rise Up Amberness is. Amberness features these fully double blooms, deep green foliage, and vigorous disease resistance as well. So that, again, very important. And I think that we can't reiterate that enough with the breeding of the Proven Winners ColorChoice Roses, is they are putting it through some of the harshest conditions in their trials. They are watering overhead. They're doing everything in humidity. They are giving these roses a run for their money. Once they start seeing any signs of any powdery mildew or black spot, they are out of the trials. So you know when you're getting roses from Proven Winners that they're going to be some of the best out there. And the last rose in today's series is also part of the Rise Up collection. This is the Rise Up Ringo. Ringo roses are known for their bright red eye, and the Rise Up Ringo Climbing Rose is no exception. Beautiful yellow with that red eye. Really, these roses stand out in the garden because of that two-tone effect. Rise Up Ringo gets 5 foot tall and 3 foot wide at maturity. Roses like to be grown in full sun and are a fantastic long blooming shrub to add into your garden. Thank you for watching this rose comparison video today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you're new to our channel, we welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.